Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we're going to be discussing Bitcoin and a few other coins that are doing some kind of okay. However, Bitcoin is not it. It does look like it is the downfall for Bitcoin. All right, so let's take a look. Bitcoin today is trading at 37,987. It's just not getting where we want to be. We're kind of hanging out at the 37,000 level, 38, which is not a good sign. It does look like we could touch on the 35, which is typically a huge flag or a huge signal to sell at that point. At 35,000, I think we are looking at a potential even further downfall as we go. We could possibly touch 25,000, 30,000, 30 to 25,000 dip if we continue, and this is what we're going to see. Moment where we were kind of sitting at a support level around 39,000, we kind of made that we dipped below that one more time, and it continued, and we're like, okay, well, we're just going to correct back up. However, it is kind of starting to move sideways a little bit, kind of remaining neutral in that movement, which is not exactly what we need right yet. Now, if it continues to move sideways, that is somewhat of a good way to do. And even as we're looking at the moving averages, somewhat the MACD, we can see that it's just still just kind of moving in, just fighting it off, just not wanting to go anywhere from the 22nd of April all the way down until the current time. It's getting closer and closer, looking like maybe we'll have an uptrend. We were hoping we've had several fake outs. So this fake here on the 25th we had, right? We had this fake. We had this one on the 28th as well. And it started to move is here that, okay, well, we're going to move in. It's not the only fakes that we had. Even it started to do this same as well right here between this candle. But when we're seeing these candles, remember these double-sided wicks, especially from the top, where it's really strong, the opening, we're giving what we're giving hope that it's actually going to be like okay, we're going to go up, but that sign is always usually in the negative side of aspects. Because when we see this, you see this just going to continue to go down. The selling is just more powerful than what the buying action is going on, and even here, of course, we had a lot of buying action going on, but just couldn't really make it the next day. And this is where we're moving forward. If we're looking at the weekly for Bitcoin, it is all going downhill as well. So it's kind of doing the same thing. When we look at the chart, it looks again it's the death cross, and this is where even just looking at kind of see where it's going to continue going down. We have the death cross already crossing in over and only gaining momentum here on the weekly. So depending on your trading strategy, you know what to do with this. But it does look like for me, it is potentially going to cross back down into even lower support. So we definitely want to keep an eye on that for Bitcoin. As far as XRP goes, XRP has been doing somewhat of a similar aspect of things as well. It is dipping in as well. We have these double-sided wicks on both sides. It looks as if it is making a new support. It is attempting to, or potentially climbing up. Either way, we do have the death cross that kind of came in too on the 21st, and we're continuing, but it does look it's moving upwards on some way according to the MACD, which is really good. Even the trading volume is kind of picking up a little bit, but that's what we have. It's trading at 61 cents at the moment for this. Now, it could potentially build up sideways. If we have a little bit, a week or so of this consolidation building up sideways, it could potentially actually break out and run for it, which we want to see. 61 is not a good price for XRP, but given the lawsuit and everything that's going in, of course, this is affecting this dearly. When we're talking about for the weekly is also very horrible, and it could actually continue going down as well, as we see the since the week of the April the 18th, and it continues to jump down as well, and it's showing that strength as well as plus we have this top wick kind of going off as well. So just not the strength just isn't there just yet. So this is where we're kind of having this controversy coming from with XRP, so you can see it on the weekly as well. What about Solana? Solana is another coin that I've always enjoyed. Um, Now, when we're looking at it, we're trying to get a grip on everything that's going on with Solana. Let me just pull over here. Solana is not the strongest thing going on right now. Actually, it's not in any kind of way good for this time. We have Solana trading at $85.75, which is not the strong point of things either. And when we look at the MACD, for example, it is showing that the um, that all of this is not something that you can really be too sure about right now for Solana. Um, Now we have the MACD kind of coming in, and I did put it on twice. But it does show that the downward trend is going to continue, and not only is it continuing, it is actually getting stronger. We had the moment where it looked like it was going to get better. Again, those fake outs from like the 29th right here, and on the 20th, we had that where it kind of looked like, okay, well, it's going to do uh, it's going to do a little bit of some different stuff going on. But we had this kind of wedge going on, and it dipped below. And remember the 3 day rule? Well, it looked like it was going to come back up. The third day, it really showed that it was going to continue down. This is that fake out point. But this is why that 3 day rule should be in place, and it continues to dip and even lower. If we look at Solana for the weekly as well, it doesn't look much better. Uh, it's the same. And now it does show an exception to that. It is getting stronger from the week of the 25th and the week of the 2nd of May. It is the same thing, but what I'm worried about is that we had a little bit of buying power here. Of course, it got liquidated, shut down. But it does show that it is getting a little bit closer, but yet we're having it actually build up downtrend potential as well. So we don't have that really strength coming in. It's very strong at this point. Of course, typically on the May the 28th as well, we had that huge candle kind of coming on, which is not really typical at this time during the downtrend, which kind of signified that it can continue to go up. The only thing that I can say about this is because it's already in the downtrend, and when you see those huge, it could show that it's going to reverse a little bit, but usually not. So we definitely want to see something a little bit different coming from here. So we want to see something trying to move in an upward position here the next couple of days. We need to see what's going to happen with that. But Solana is just too close to call. Still very, very bearish at this moment. Not something I'm going to trade in right now. It looks like we can dip even further, potentially making because we're right here sitting at support. I mean, trading at support is just a horrible idea, always. So that's something that you want to watch for. As far as the coin Luna right now, it is not looking so great either. We had that moment where we kind of crossed over that death cross as well, and it continues to drop down. It's trading at $83.15, not strong as well. The volume's pretty healthy, which is honestly a really good sign. But somewhat some consolidation kind of coming in. We just need to fight over that mark at this time from the 3rd of May, and we can see what's going to go on. Looking at the daily, of course, I think you need to, in this moment, in this time, in this kind of market that's going on with the bear, you need to look at all time frames and make your judgments based on this. There's not going to be one thing that's really going to push you into. This is going to give you that solid answer. If you're a day trader, you still need to follow the weeklies, the monthlies. You need to follow these every day for what's going on, because you can kind of trade on based on the daily or weekly. But I think it's a very important time to make your judgments based on the time frames all across the board. So this is something that is really kind of signifying that you really need to pay attention. Now, however, if we should choose out of the last coins that we just spoke about, Luna does look a lot better than those previous coins. So if this would definitely be my pick. And um, Terra Luna typically has a good reputation for fighting bearish markets, and that's like what you can always see in every time frame. So even if what Bitcoin's doing, is Terra Luna is typically doing the opposite. So if you're kind of like trying to make some money in a bear market, Terra Luna usually does provide some kind of benefits from that, as far as it's going to give you some better insight and be able to continue to profit from the bear market as a reserve for this kind of market, right? But overall, it's still going down. Not the greatest. Now, how long will it go? It doesn't look too strong, but it is going to continue, I believe, maybe without a doubt, probably around $70. Now it's trading at $83.19, so we'll see where it goes here in the next couple of days, where it touches, uh, I believe, 75 minimum. Overall, the market is horrible. It looks gross. Bitcoin 37 and 9, 1.33 for minus. By the way, 24 hours and 1.18 for the 7-day period. Ethereum's down by 1.82 and 1.72 for the weekly. XRP 1.62 and down by 6.04 for the 7-day. Terra Luna for the weekly is down by 5 and 67, and the 24-hour is 1.71. Now, Terra USD is actually barely just hanging above at $1, 0% for the 24-hour period. It's 0.04. So you have pennies. AVAX is down by 13.43% for the weekly and 3.11% for the 24-hour period. DOT is up by 0.17% and down by 10.5% for the weekly as well. Another one coin that is doing good right now is Tron. Tron is up by 12.18% for the 7-day period, and for the 24.44%. So much better than the others. Even Near is up by 2.81% for the 24-hour period as well, and Algorand is up by 3.55% for the weekly. Everything else is pretty much down at this moment. Thorchain's up by points, so only a lot of these are only up by fractions, even down to the 50s. So usually in this kind of market too, the altcoins down past like 30 and higher down is kind of or lower down is typically doing much better. Well, here is the opposite. So everything is down at this moment. So I think maybe with a merge coming up soon too, this maybe things will start to boost. Maybe I can pull up the rest of them. But we will see at this moment. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Do subscribe, drop a comment, and I will see you